Hey church family, here's a quick update from me from my office here where I work nearly every day. Just want to give you an important update about what we're going to do in coming months really. This week we sat together with our main leadership teams, that's the board and MLT, the ministry leaders team. And we made some decisions about our approach to the coming months. Of course, we're gonna have to deal with the corona restrictions, and we can't go back to the way we used to do church way back in February 2020. And so we're gonna have to make some adjustments to how we're gonna meet together. And I just want to give you an update about what we're doing, the reasoning behind it. And also some of the extra safety regulations that we're putting in place. Just so that you know what's going on. Today you'll get an email if you get our regular emails. If not, then please go to the website vineyardgroningen.com/newsletter and sign up for the newsletters, and then you'll be able to get all of our updates, because things are changing all the time, and it's important to get those updates. So here's a quick video message for you about what we're gonna do in the coming time. Our decision made was that we're going to go on a bi-weekly schedule, doing 2 services on the one Sunday at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, and community groups on the other Sundays. So that's quite a big change to how we used to do church back in the past, before the coronavirus. So a bit of the reasoning behind that. Why 2 services on one Sunday? Well, with the corona restrictions, seating everyone on 1.5 meters distance, we can only fit max 60 adults in one church service. So that's not enough for a whole church community, so we decided let's do 2 services so that we can host everyone in a church service. So we'll do one at 10 o'clock and one at 1 o'clock. Only in the 10 o'clock service we'll have kids ministry. So we expect that more of our families with children will come to that first service, because that's when the kids program will also happen. Okay, then why bi-weekly? Why not every week? Well, we can already foresee that 2 services every Sunday, even though less people will come to a service, it doesn't mean that it will be less work for the team. So to make it sustainable, we want to make sure that we can do this for a longer period of time. We decided to go bi-weekly with this. So 1 week is 2 church services, and the next week something else. So that's our reasoning behind it. What will these church services look like? Well, in August we've already tested with this a little bit. Singing will happen, but it will happen softly. We'll make sure to have enough ventilation so we can open the doors at the back, and just make sure that there's a lot of flow through of air in the windows. The worship team will play softer music, more contemplative, more reflective, just beautiful songs. It's worked really well. You can sing along, just not like at the top of your lungs. But it's a beautiful atmosphere of worship. There's a bit more focus on prayer. Usually I do a bit of a Bible reading and contemplation around that, so it's quite beautiful. I'm sure that you'll love it. It's slightly different than before, but I think God is doing a beautiful thing through this new setup of doing services. You will also need to reserve a ticket. We have to make sure that we will not have to reject people at the door. If you come, we want to make sure that there's a seat for you. So if you make a reservation, of course tickets are free, and we have an app to do this, to organize this with. It's called Eventbrite. So just make a ticket reservation, then we know that you're coming. We can see how many people to expect. We can make sure that there's space for everyone. We will check the ticket at the door. Now, doesn't mean that you're not allowed in if you don't have a ticket. You can always do a last minute reservation, or but then at least we know how many people without tickets we can still welcome in. So just help us and make a week. When you plan to come to the service, make a reservation. And it will be all good. Bring the ticket, either print it out or on your phone. It's just you get an e-ticket. Just bring it, we can scan it, and then you're in. Okay, so the other weeks that we don't have church services, we are gonna do community groups. Now I know this is a new name again. We used to have home groups. They meet in the week and they study a certain topic, and they're a really important part of our church. The focus on that is gonna shift a little bit towards community groups, and they will happen on the services that we don't have, on the Sundays that we don't have church services. So what is a community group? It's basically an alternative for a Sunday morning service in the form of a home group, of a small group, a small group of people kind of churching together. We'll upload a video message for you. We'll give you discussion questions so that you have enough to discuss and meet around. We encourage you to worship together, pray together, really to form a small community. These groups will be max 8 adults because you need to be able to meet safely also at home. And also if your living room cannot fit 8 adults safely on distance and all of that, then just meet somewhere else or do a smaller group. That's also completely fine. Now our aim is that these groups will start organically. They'll just form around existing friendships. Of course, we'll also help people to get connected to groups. And so you can sign up as a group, as a host. Say, okay, I want to host a group, just connect people to me. Or as a member, hey, please help me to get connected to a group. It's quite free, it's quite open. You can say we're an open group, please add people to us. Or it's like, hey, this is the number of people that we can safely host. We have this group, it's set. Please don't add any more people. Completely fine. We encourage families with children to gather together. It just helps for the children that they have friends to play with, to connect with, and that also you can really make it a great Sunday experience on those Sundays for them as well. So the kids ministry is going to help groups with children to prepare to do something for them, to do a little story, to do an exercise, to do all kinds of stuff. So they're going to help the groups with children to make that a great experience for them as well. And you know, we've actually done this already over the last couple of months. Starting in June, the focus shifted to church and groups. About 60 people, 50, 60 people have been meeting in groups regularly on those in the last couple of months, and it's been really good. I was part of one of those groups as well, and you know, I could really see new friendships developing. Kids were playing, they were excited, they excited about the Sundays. You know, we were having lunch together, we did a barbecue together until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, even though we started at 10. So it was really quality time with church people. So I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure that you will enjoy this as well. And let's get some new groups started. Let's make sure to be open. This will only start the groups. The first Sunday in groups will be on 20 September. So on the next couple of Sundays, August 30, September 6, September 13, we're still going to do services. On August 30, one service, and in September 6 and 13, we'll do 2 services. After that, we'll go on this bi-weekly rota, basically, of church and groups and church services. Just a couple of updates. I'm sorry this is a long video message, but there's a lot to update you on. Some safety regulations you need to know about. First of all, the ticket reservation, already told you about that. Important for crowd control. Reserve your ticket for Sundays. Print it out or bring it on your phone. We can scan, we can make sure that there's enough space for everyone and we can gather safely. Secondly, in between the services, we'll make sure to disinfect the room. We'll disinfect the toilets, the chairs, the surfaces, and we will also make sure that there's proper ventilation. There's a ventilation system. We'll open the windows, we'll open the doors, ventilate the room. It's required for gatherings like this. Thirdly, this may surprise some of us. We are going to ask some of our teams to be wearing masks while serving, face masks. I myself, before and after the service, will also be wearing a face mask. Why? Well, you know, the Dutch government is taking quite a unique position, I think, when it comes to masks in the world. We see that all over the world this is, in many places, required, just as an extra safety regulation. And we understand that as a international church, people will come with different expectations to how we're dealing with the regulations. So they have different expectations, different experiences, and we'd rather be on the extra safe side, making sure that everyone feels welcome and safe to come, than kind of pushing the boundaries to this. So we're gonna ask some of our teams, hospitality, facility, our sound tech, our prayer ministry team, to be wearing face masks. Just when we're moving around, because you can't always keep that social distance. So just to make you feel more safe. Also, if you want to come to church wearing a mask, please feel free to do so. People will not look at you weird. If you decide not to wear a mask, completely fine as well. We're not gonna tell anyone they have to wear a mask when they come to church. It's just something that we're installing within our teams as a policy for the foreseeable future. Now, lastly, the most important safety regulation is, of course, still the social distancing. No, I should say the physical distancing. Let's not social distance, but just physical distance. We can still have great conversations on that 1.5 meter distance. But please, it doesn't matter how safe you feel. We all do this not out of fear, but out of love. We want to make sure that this virus gets under control, and we want to do everything we can to stop it. And so, even though we may not be scared at all, even though we, in the north of the Netherlands, this has not been as big of a deal as in other parts of the country, or other parts of the world for that matter. We just want to make sure we do everything we can to stop this, and to be extra safe, and make sure that people that come to our church services really feel safe to come, because we've got people in all kinds of age groups. Of course, we've got many students. We've got quite a lot of people that are in older age groups or that have health issues, that are more concerned about catching this virus. So we just, as a church, want to make sure it's a safe environment and that people feel free and just comfortable to come. And so that's why we're taking some extra measures. Again, not of fear, but really out of love, out of it is a welcoming spirit, understanding that there's different. Many people have different responses to what this all means in the world, and we see the effects of it, so we want it to be a welcoming environment. All right, that's it from me. Lastly, I believe that God is still doing a new thing in this. I want to see this whole crisis, this whole pandemic all over the world, which is still gonna have lasting effects for the coming years. I don't want to see it as an interruption, like, okay, let's just get through this and then get on the way we used to do things in the past. I want to see this as a disruption that sort of stirs us, and where we're saying, okay, we need a deeper experience of God. We need to gather in different ways. We are longing for God for a new move. We see new doors opening when it comes to evangelism. All of those things. I believe God is doing a new thing, and I think He has a great plan for our church still in 2020. And so I want to invite you to lean in and expect more of what God is doing in our church and in our city still this year, 2020. All right, thank you for listening. God bless to you. I love you, and I will see you soon. God bless.